Okay. And so last week we spoke with Eric, or 2 weeks ago, Eric Salazar, and last week, Miles Lamery. And we went over a variety of topics from everywhere from how to get started, how do you know you're ready, all the way up to where you can get agents from. So we have a pretty good idea on where we're going to be able to get our agents from. We have a great idea on the process of bringing them on, but we have yet to dig into what do we say, what are we what are the questions we're talking about when we're bringing somebody on. What's our process for getting somebody on board and presenting the opportunity to them. So we're going to get into that tonight. I have Jan on, and she's our system. In our system, she is a critical piece. She does the first interview and among other things. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to interview her, talk to her, find out what she's doing as part of this whole puzzle we're putting together, the puzzle of building your own agency. But before we do that, let's find out what her journey has been like in the insurance industry. Now, most of you, if not all of you, are very familiar with her. She's been around, and she's an active partner in retirement income life. And we want to have a minute to pick her brain, find out exactly what her processes are, but let's find out what her journey was like to get to this point that she's at today. So Jan, thank you for coming on. And here's the thing, we're both in the same house, right? She's in her office upstairs. She's got a nice big office, as you can see, nice and bright. And I have a much smaller office. So that tells you who's more important in this. But is it kind of odd interviewing your spouse? Yeah, it's kind of a different thing. But we're going to go ahead and have fun with it. I know what she brings to the table, Rob Boyd, and all of you know what she brings to the table. But I don't know if you guys have heard the journey as she sees it, because we all have a journey and we see it a little differently than outsiders might. So Jen, just tell everybody what your journey has been like since you got into the insurance industry.
Since I got into the insurance industry, so we'll go back about 7 years ago when I first got licensed for life insurance with Rob, actually. We did this both together. If you would have asked me 25 years ago if I would ever want to work with my husband, I would have said, heck no. So funny how life changes, and now we're working together. So the journey has been a little bit of ups and downs as far as, getting to know the business and stuff. Going back in 2017, starting off in a new business with a 12 and 15-year-old, going into the teens, and in the teens there, it was not easy. It took me 9 times to pass the life insurance exam. And I just I never gave up. And it took me 9 times because I'm not a good test taker like Rob. He cheats, I think. But anyway, so, when we got in the business, it was a little hard, but we both had to lean on each other, and we both had to cry together and laugh together and learn together. We were in our upline's back pocket every day, all day, just asking a lot of questions, taking a lot of notes, and just trying to figure this out. And so the first 4.5 years in the business, in the first year, actually, we were one of the top teams in our prior IMO that we were at. And, within a month we were on the stage, talked about, and it was so overwhelming. And it just kind of motivated us to just keep going, because we started with such a big team at first. And when a lot of you agents are starting, like, how could you run a team? Like, how did we ever even think about doing a team, right? But because I had my own businesses before, and Rob had his own businesses, so we had entrepreneurship already, it was a little easier, I guess, to try to hire and learn it at the same time. So the first 4.5 years were great. We made over 100,000 our first year. We won trips and awards and stuff like that. We always kept going, and we were always very positive. During 2020, when everybody had to work from home and everybody was frightened and things were going on in the world, I chose to get my health license then and utilize my time with that. So after 4.5 years is when I started my health. So I always tell my new agents to really get life under their belt first, because it's a whole different world. So, for me, I'm overwhelmed a lot on days. I'm not in I'm in the field almost every day, but I'm just doing a lot of other things behind the scenes that nobody knows. As far as, little things here and there in the business and helping us grow. So I would love to be out there more and selling all these big APs, but the more you grow a team, the less you can be out there doing the APs, so you have to help your team grow and help them make the money like me and Rob do. So, 2 years ago, we decided to leave that company because we were strapped where we were. We were circling, and there was a lot of things going on. There was a lot of stress between me and Rob, almost quit like so many times, $50,000 in debt, just unbelievable craziness. And we just never gave up. We always had our faith and prayer on that it would work out. And so, Rob, always working around the clock, always thinking, and he came up with an idea on how he can incorporate our agency to grow. We fell into Rob Boyd again, because back in 2017, when we hired Rob Boyd through somebody else that I interviewed in a phone store, that's how we got Rob Boyd. So maybe 7 years ago, we're not sitting in this spot. If Rob and I didn't make those decisions and he didn't decide to leave the car business, we wouldn't be all sitting here, we'd be somewhere else. So, the journey is just incredible on how many lives we've changed and how many people have changed our lives in the insurance industry and even with our clients. So I can go on and on, but I just have to say the past 2 years have been, the first year was a little hard leaving another company and getting everything going, but it was one of the best decisions, of course, that we've ever made. We came on with some of the greatest people here, and we just love you all, and we just want to help you grow. So that's my story.
Yeah, you know what, Jan, I mean, everything she said is dead on the money. I do have to say, overall, listen, we've always been happily married. That's never been an issue. However, when you remove those stresses from the stresses of money and the stresses of just the aggravations from the equation. And what I mean by aggravations, somebody that's in that same organization going and rewriting your business, and they're allowed to do it with no penalty, or somebody else in that same group just ripping you off or stealing from you. It does put a lot of pressure on your marriage, because it puts pressure on you. And many times you could take that home, and that negativity just will exude from you, and it'll affect the people that you love and care about, whether it's your wife, your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, whatever it is, your son, daughter. People are going to be picking it up off of you. And so when you're in a happy situation like what we have here, and that's why our culture is important to us, because we want to have a culture where everybody is treated the right way. You bring home positive vibes, and that positivity does become infectious, and it could improve a marriage. It could improve a relationship, could improve your relationship with your family, your brother, whatever it might be. So I really think that Jen hit the nail on the head with that. It does make a huge difference. And in the 2 years that we've been here and working together here, it really has been amazing. Now, we're a married couple. And so, yeah, we are going to, have our spats. Everybody does. If you don't, you're lying. But the bottom line is we've never been closer. And a big reason is because we eliminated those stresses that you find at other IMOs. We don't have that here at Retirement Income Life. We don't have that with One Life Heartland. What we have here has been a situation where in the last year, 2 years, I should say, we've been here just over 2 years, right, Jan?
Mm-hmm.
In the last 2 years, how much do I complain about what goes on here? None. I really don't. It's been minimal, if at all, because it seems just normal. It's a whole different game. So now keep this in mind. Having that mindset, that frame of mind, is critical when you're showing somebody the opportunity. When you're showing somebody the opportunity and they read stress and negativity on you, if they're good at sales and they're able to read people, they're going to run. They're not going to join you. They're going to pick up that stress. So it's just important that that our culture has that nuance to it that helps people make the money they need, helps them make the money they deserve, and their leadership takes care of them. Today, Rob Boyd did what I call baseball, right? We did a couple different baseball games, right, Jan, back at the other joint. And while people liked it and loved it, it just didn't get the positive response that the people got here. Why did the people here respond differently? Well, number one, there are a different class of agents that are here. You have a Taiwan or Carl or Roderick or Melvin or Ken Bond and so on, where they're hungry. These are people that are hungry. They want to go out and they want to make money. And when they sell something, they know they're getting the right amount. They're getting what they deserve. That's what they're getting. And at the other place, that just wasn't there. So when somebody did sell an app, the compensation just wasn't there. Whereas here, yes, you do get that compensation. You do get that. You do get these contests like Rob did today. And it's a great contest. And let me tell you something, that man paid out some serious money today because you guys are a bunch of animals that went out there and made him pay. And quite honestly, he makes too much money anyway, so he deserves to pay it. So I'm just kidding. Rob deserves everything he gets, but you get my point. The whole idea is to be stress-free. When you're stress-free, you're going to have a better recruiting opportunity, and somebody's going to want to buy in. So Jen, moving on, I that actually wasn't even in my plan, was to go over that, but you had just mentioned something, so I wanted to touch base on it. So let's ask you some quick questions. So our process is I get the response through email. So I send out bulk emails. And when I send bulk emails, anywhere from 300 to 500 a day, emails go out to agents, licensed agents, newly licensed agents. I could send it to older agents too, but I prefer newly licensed agents, someone within the last, few months. And 300 to 500 a day go out, and we'll get a few emails a day, 2, 3, maybe 1, maybe 4. I mean, it depends on the day. And I forward those emails to Jan because she's the one that's making that first contact. She is the first point of contact for any new agent. And so let's talk about what your process is. After I send you that email, Jan, what is your process with the prospective agent?
So, and this is, we're just talking right now on an email response, but it also can go for anyone else that was recommended to us, you know, through word of mouth, somebody we met in the street and stuff like that. But
Oh,
as
Jen,
far-
that's a good point. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned this.
yeah, there's other,
I come home with business cards all the time and I give them to her too. So if I'm in a gas station or if I see a card sitting on somebody's table when I'm in the house, I'm going to ask them if I could have it. I take that card and I'm having Jan call. So that's also another thing that she's doing.
right. So, and we could talk about that another time on how, you know, some of you can recruit or talk to and hire other people when you're out in the field every day. But we're just going to talk about the email right now. So what happens is Rob forwards me the email that the person responded to, and I read the email, and it usually gives me the contact information of what time they're available. Sometimes it does not even give me the phone number, and it should, so I have to email them and ask. But what I do is I call them, and if I don't get a response, I will text them. And I usually do both. So I will call them. If they answer the phone, I'll give them a quick call and tell them why I'm calling. If I send them a text, like tonight, I sent someone a text because I couldn't get through to her. I have a little, you know, same thing that I send to everybody on, you know, hello, whoever it is. And I say, you know, thank you for reaching out and responding to an email that was sent out by Robert Appel. I'm so happy that you replied. I look forward to speaking with you about our opportunity. I introduced myself as Janet Appel, one of the partners here at Retirement Income Life. And I look forward to speaking with you about this opportunity. And the girl today said, call me after 1 tomorrow. And so we'll chat tomorrow. So, you know, you do have to be organized and you have to really be on top of these people. It's a lot of work to do that. So my first thing is to call them, get a response from them, get a date, or get them on the phone. If I get them on the phone, I tell them I'm sorry, they might be at work. Maybe I caught them in the car. I can hear their kid crying, you know, whatever's going on. And I just tell them who I am and why I'm calling, because they're all off guard and they don't know who I am. And as soon as I say it was about that email that we sent, they're like, oh, okay. And then they want to listen. So that's what I do as far as that goes.
Okay. And I've seen your notes. She writes down when she's talking with somebody, she gets them on the phone, she's writing everything down, and I would advise that you do the same. You know, a lot of people think they look down on writing things down these days just because of the technology, but I'll tell you something, it's okay to write things down, especially when you're talking with somebody. Writing it down is going to be a lot quicker than trying to type it into your notepad on your phone. So if you're, you know, if you're going to do this, you want to make sure that you come up with your system. And when you do call them, have a pen and paper, notepad, whatever it might be, right nearby. This way you're able to remember a lot of the things that this person said. Having that memory and personalizing things towards them makes you a more appealing option than somebody who's going to address them as just another number.
Exactly. So I just want to speak about that for the few people on this phone tonight, because I do notice when we're on Zooms and, you know, we're at conferences in person and we give you all a pen and a paper, there's a lot of you that are not writing. And we can't tell you you have to write. Like, I'm a school teacher too. I was a school teacher for 8 years and I'm a mom of 2. So I raised my kids of always writing things down. And if you could remember when you were in preschool and you had to write the A, B's, and C's, the only way you can remember something is if you're writing your name 100 freaking times, right? 100 times. When I used to get in trouble, my father used to make me write, I will never do this again. I will never do this again, 100 times. So if you come to my office, it looks like a tornado hit it, ask Rob. And I got filing cabinets, files, papers, notes. And sometimes I'm like, but I know where everything is. And when I pull it out, I know everything, okay? But the whole purpose of writing, and I have a book called Writing It Down and Making It Happen. And that will make you even write a book like it did me. I wrote a book after I read that book. So the crazy thing is it really, really works. So when you write it down, you absorb it better and you remember everything. Now, some people feel that, oh, I'm going to write it down and I'm going to forget. So when you're at the trainings, how many of you pick up your phone and you like kind of take pictures of what's up there so you don't have to spend the time? A lot of you have attention spans that are slim to none, right? Because we'll always go, 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 go in our head. Carl's laughing. Go, 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 go. You know, so we're looking at the phone, we're listening to that. We got rabbit ears, we got things going. I'm Italian and Irish from Brooklyn. When you go to my house, I'll be there this weekend with my family, ex-Rob. I'll be talking to my mother. My brother's talking, he's listening to me. Heather's talking to him. I'm like, what the hell? Everybody's doing this. So you have to pay attention all around. So the more you write down, now I have in my phone for 7 years, almost every good call, conference call, like when somebody's telling me about points or bullet points or, you know, even about a carrier. I remember in the old company, Jordan, Craig, whoever was doing the call, I would be in the bathroom, blowing my hair, listening to the thing and writing down all the bullet points. Ask Rob, right after the call, my notes went right to the WhatsApp and they would be like, what the hell? What did she do? And because I wrote it down and I listened and I absorbed it, and that's what makes you better. That's what makes me better. So if you could just change your little habits a little bit at a time, you can really go a long way. So that could be another story to help you guys, but really writing everything down and making it happen will stick and will actually progress in your success.
Yes, good advice. Very good advice. If you're not writing things down, let's go old school and do it. I have a notepad that I take with me because I can't remember all the things I have to do each day. I literally get about 50 calls a day from different agents, and it's a lot on me. And I just can't remember it all. So I started carrying that little notepad that I had made up for our company. So next. What are some of the questions when you do get a prospective agent on the phone? What are some of the questions that you're asking them?
Well, first of all, I ask them, I know that they're licensed, those particular people. So I'll ask them when they got licensed and they'll tell me a year ago, a month ago. I'll ask them if they have life and health. I'll ask them what IMO that they're with. Who do you work with? Oh, okay. You work with AIL? Okay. So I'm just asking questions and I'm writing down on the paper. So I have everything down on this person as they're talking, right? So I asked them what IMO they're with. And then why did they answer that email that Rob put out? I want to know why they answered it. They answered it for a reason, right? They answered it because they were unsure where they were. Maybe there's something better out there. You know, they got their eyes open, their ears open. So they can't tell you they're very happy. They can't tell you they're 100% happy if they answer that email because they're looking, you know, to find out what we have to offer. So I asked them what's their current IMO. And, you know, just in conversation going back and forth, there's a lot of different things they talk about. But I do say, you know, well, where you are right now, what would you like to be different? What would you like to see happen in the IMO that you're with? You know, and I let them answer that. So then I pause, just like you do in the house. And they mostly tell me support. They're getting no support, zero support, zero training. Sometimes they talk about the leads, but the first thing I tell you in the past year, the first thing they talk about is support. I think everybody in the world is just all over the place. And, you know, it's a numbers game. So my calls with these potential agents are very intense. I have at least a half hour to 45 minutes to an hour, sometimes conversation, ask Rob. I'm drained out by the time I get off the phone because I am digging. I'm talking, I'm asking questions, you know, I'm taking notes and I'm asking them everything. You know, are they full-time right now? Look at that doggy. Are they part-time? Are they full-time? Do they have a family? Are they able to work 40, 50 hours a week and run their own agency? Or are they just looking for part-time to sell 2 policies because they have another job or 2? We don't want that. we're not looking for that. I have no time for that.
Yeah. You know what? When Jan does have conversations with these prospects, and the whole purpose of these conversations is to find the pressure point. And she does a great job with that. And like you said, it's almost always training and support. It's almost always the case. Staying on this topic. Are there any particular things that you're trying to dig up in a prospect's background? Are you trying to find out if they have vectors? Are you trying to find out, what else they might be unhappy with? What kind of things are you trying to dig up?
Well, I asked them what their experience is like. So there's all different situations. You could have someone that has 25 years experience. You could tell, that they're 60 years old and smoke pipes and, just sleep all day. And they're looking to do insurance.
She laughs, but we just had that, by the way.
We just had that.
It was 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we called the guy, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't wake up yet." He's like a 70-year-old surfer dude.
We never heard back from him after that. But
no.
Anyway, he sounded like he wanted it all to do. He just wanted something to do because he had a lot of money in the bank already. So he just wanted to have fun. Not with me. So anyway, so that was pretty funny. So it depends on, so if they say, well, I just got licensed, they sound like they're 20 years old, they just got out of high school, they just had a little baby. I had one on the phone the other day, she's 6 months pregnant and she has 6 months more bed rest, but I think I want to hire her. I really liked her. So, and again, I know this and I remember this because I wrote it down and I talk so much to these people. I feel like I know them already, just like we have to get to know our clients. And some people, I talk to them 5 minutes, I could tell right away, I'm putting an X on that one and I hang up pretty quick. But if they tell me so if they say that they just got their license, I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's great. What made you think about insurance? What got you into the insurance world? Do you have a friend? Did somebody mention it to you? And then I want to hear why. I want to hear I'm passionate about helping people. I want to hear, I want to grow the community. I want a retirement. I want to make a lot of money. Why? I want freedom. And what experience did you have prior to this insurance? I want to know. One girl the other day, she did customer support. She was a medical doctor. She sounded very intelligent. I think is she from Haiti? Somebody was from Haiti. I forget. She's in Florida, but I really like her. But she, what did you do prior? So I want to know their background. I want to know their work ethic. I want to know how long they were at jobs, right? I asked 3 questions. The first one is, do they have good work ethic? They're going to all tell you that they do, but you can tell by how long they were at a job and stuff like that. And the other thing is, are they coachable? Are you really coachable? Because we've hired people from restaurant businesses and real estate. And I hate to tell you, those 2 pretty much stand out like a sore thumb, right, Rob? Real estate and restaurants, because I hate to say they think they know it all. They do not come in humble. They come in cocky, like they know it all. And, me and Rob came in and we wanted to know it all because we don't like to not know it all. And we were learning. So we had to be humble and stay back and ask questions because nobody wants to say they don't know how to do something. They feel sometimes incapable or inhuman or something. I mean, no, God made us all unique and to where we are today. When we got to learn something new, we got to learn how to walk again. I mean, it's ridiculous how people think they know everything all the time. And they don't like to say thank you because they learned something from somebody younger or somebody on the downline or somebody that's, different than them. So I say good work ethic, coachable. And the third thing is, do you have sales experience? Were you in sales a long time now? Did you have it before? The first 2 are very important, but the third one, we could always teach sales because if you're good with people and you're a good person and you're humble and you have integrity and you're trustworthy and genuine, we can teach you sales because Rob said when we first came on, he says, you know what? I don't feel like I'm selling. Because I have friends and family that say, Jan, I could never do what you do. Like you are like top notch, queen bee, all over the place. You do everything. I could never sell. And Rob said to me one day, we're not selling, we're helping. And so if you change that mindset, when you're helping, yes, you're selling, but this is a necessity. This isn't selling a hair product or selling them a necklace, something that they don't need, right? This is something that they need. So we go in there helping and then we sell. But some people can't do that because they just can't. But the other thing that I really talk about to people is I ask them if they were competitive in school, if they played sports, if they don't like to lose, because you have to want to win. You have to like to win in this business. You don't want to lose. You want to don't lose more than you want to win, right? Is that right?
Yep.
You want to not lose more. When we're playing what do we play? Uno at the table, me, Rob, and the two kids. On Friday nights when they're home, or now when they come home, they're 22 and almost 19. We still play games. And it's so funny. I could sit back and laugh at them because I don't care if I win or lose. I get mad, but them three, forget about it. And I grew up with three brothers all playing sports, and they're all competitive. But at my older age right now, I don't like to get all riled up. So I just sit there and I go, oh, yeah, oh, mommy didn't win once tonight. I'm like, yeah, I didn't win. I get mad, but they get mad. They're mad. And so if Danielle's boyfriend comes here, he's Mexican and from Chile, and he wants to kill somebody. That one night he lost Uno and he was so pissed. He turned the cards around. He said, I'm not playing. I said, what? What are you talking about? He's like, I ain't playing this game. I was like, holy crap. And my daughter's so competitive at cheerleader. She's like, yeah, don't listen to him. So it's so funny. So in insurance, it's a game. And if you want to play the game with me, I want to know how competitive you are. So in a nice way, we have those nice conversations. And when you really dig deep, you find out about the person, because you're signing a contract with them. You're signing a lease with them. You're signing debt with them if they ever leave you, because Lord knows we've been there. And you got to try to help that as much as you can. I do say to everyone on the phone in that conversation, some of them act like, well, when can I start? Like they're hired already. I'm like, are they kidding me? I didn't even say anything, right? And I'll say, well, we have to be a good fit for you, but you have to be a good fit for us too. I always say that it has to go both ways. And you have to stop them in their tracks, right, Carl? Because they're thinking, oh, I'm going to get this. Because in this world today, there's so much people running around, jobs, calling this one, that one. Nobody takes anything serious. People leave you hanging. They don't call you back. It's a crazy world. It's not like the 80s and 90s when I grew up. It's crazy. But if you take control of the conversation and you make them want what you got, because when I'm on the phone, I'm telling them, I did $1 million the first year in business with my husband and our team, and another $1 million the following year. And I kept doing $1 million for 7 years. And now we're headed for more million. And so, not that I'm a millionaire, but like they want to hear you're successful, right? They want to hear about the million and the reward you won. And they want to hear about the trips you won and stuff like that. So they want to hear how successful you are. So that's what I look for in a person: hard worker, hustler, competitive, don't like to lose, somebody looking for full time.
Good. Yeah, some great points. When you're talking with a prospective agent during that initial conversation, finding out if they're successful in their past is critical. The best people that you come across will have been successful in previous careers. So even if you had somebody that used to work for Burger King, you want to see that they had success, that maybe they made assistant manager, maybe they had manager, maybe they were in a car business and they were top salespeople or top 5. You want somebody that has had that previous success. Is it a prerequisite to being a really great agent? No, but I tell you something, that type of person typically is going to perform and be a very competitive person. Now, we have brought on people in the past that they were just a warehouse worker or just the average person. They weren't successful. They were hungry to make more money, and they turned out great. They sold a ton of business, and they're still in the business, right? So you don't want to turn people away if they didn't have previous success. We got a minor leagues. We got an agent in the minors right now. We're going to bring him up in the future. He's going to get promoted to agent in about 10 years, it looks like.
Who's
So,
that?
but in any case, it's just important that you do that digging, like Jan said, and find out what that background is. I also, when I get them on the Zoom, so after they're done with Jan, they're coming to me, and I'm going to do the Zoom presentation. And that Zoom presentation, the first few minutes, I'm talking to them about why they're here, what they did or didn't like at their other place. And then I'm going to focus on those topics during that Zoom presentation. That's their pressure point. So, but they don't get to me unless they get through her. So we're going to continue. And so, Jan, you kind of answered two questions in that last one. But let me ask you this. If you're ever unsure of somebody that you're speaking to on the phone, and I think that happens an awful lot here, not necessarily just with us, but I'm saying people that are on this call. What is your process for handling that?
What, someone that
Someone that you're unsure, like you've talked to them and you just can't get a good read on them. There's always that type of person that you're like, I don't know. What do you do in that case? Like, how do you go about moving forward on that type of individual?
on the phone call with them when I hang up?
If you're talking to them on the phone.
And I feel like they're not that good, well, I kind of,
Well, no, if you're not sure, if you can't get a read on them, what would you do in that situation?
well, normally I do get a good read. I normally do. If I don't, I would send them to you. I mean, that really hasn't happened with me, but if you're asking me because maybe some other people might be unsure. I mean,
Yeah, well, people might have that problem.
yeah, well, they might. I mean, I guess because I'm doing it a long time. I mean, in the beginning when I first started, I guess there was unsurability. I mean, with certain people, and you know what, we hired anybody with a pulse. I mean, seriously, anybody that came in the business, we hired them. We had no clue what we were doing. So that's what we did. So that's why we could tell you guys how to hire in a better way. But I will say that this is what you do. If you find somebody out there that you think is good, you just take their business card or you take their name and number and you say, you know what, I really, you talk about the opportunity. If they say, okay, you know what, I'm going to set you up with an appointment with my manager. Would that be okay with you? And just call me and I'll talk to them. And you could sit on the phone and listen to how I talk to them, because not to say you guys aren't as good as me at all, but I'm doing this such a long time and I guess I'm good at it. I've been on the phone a long time. I work with lawyers, I work with brokers. I've worked in different situations with different things, and I'm just good on the phone. So in order for you to get better on the phone, you want to listen to me. You just say, well, can I have my manager give you a call about the opportunity? Boom. Because we always have to do 2 interviews with the person anyway. We can't just have one. It's like, if they pass me, they're going to go to Rob. And then, which means the Zoom. And I tell them on the phone, listen, if you pass this interview with me and we think you're a good potential fit for us and we're a good fit for you, possibly, I deep dug in. Rob does not do what I do. I'm sorry. He does not. He does the Zoom and he talks about the company and it's a little easier, I have to say. I really dig deep because I want the person interested, because if I didn't do that, we've had conversations with them. They listen, I answer all the questions that they're going to have, that by the time we finish the conversation, I say, do you have any questions? They say, no, not really. I think you answered all of them. Because in the conversation, I know what to say and how to say it. I'm talking about our company, what's free, what the commission scale should look like, what you'll probably start at. I vaguely talk about that because they want to know the lead system, how that works. I talk about that a little bit. I talk about our company trainings. I talk about, we have 24/7 on-the-go trainings. I've never seen anything like it. We don't make you do it, but we offer it. Tonight we have 11, 12 people on here. I wish we had more, but they're working, whatever. They can listen later if they want to. The people that plug in are the ones that want to learn. So we incorporate all of these Zooms so that you learn. These people are telling me every day, I have no training, there's no Zooms, nothing. So I tell them on the phone, we have a few calls a week. We have a couple of Zooms. We have a checklist we've been doing for 7 years with everything they need, iPad, printer, iPhone, next to fax, whatever they need. We always had a checklist. We always gave it to them. And so I vaguely tell them, we have Google Drive. Rob uploads that Google Drive like I've never seen before. He's always, generous and giving his information. This is what I'm telling people. These companies out there, Family First, Lincoln Heritage, AIL, I talk not bad about any company, but I will tell you this. What I'm telling you, Mary, is everything that these agents have told me on the phone. They've told me, if they're with Family First, say, I won't bash Family First, but I will say, my husband was with him for 1 month and I really didn't like it. And I tell them what I didn't like about it. They were like, oh yeah, I'm with them now. I let them tell me. I'm not going to tell them, because I tell them this. I am not bragging about our company or trying to convince you to come with us because we're the best thing since sliced bread. But I will tell you that there's no complaints in our company. We have agents that stick with us and don't leave. And if they do leave, insurance wasn't for them. It has nothing to do with me or Rob, because of the training and the stuff that we provide for them. So we can sleep good at night because we did it all for them. I said, you're in our back pocket if you want to be. We don't chase you. I might chase you a little more than Rob, and once I had enough, but I will follow up, and I do all my follow-up stuff. And Rob don't do much of that because he's too busy and he don't have time. He wants you to want him. So that's where we balance each other. Then when I'm done, we're done. But I tell them, listen, I don't have one complaint here. We have great lead system. We have a company with integrity. We have a man who's been doing insurance for 52 years. We have 14,000 writing agents. We have Zooms every other night, calls in the morning. We're not rah-rah. We recognize our agents for what they do. We give them trips for incentives. We take them away, our upline orders, gets a bus, gets a photographer. I mean, who does this, right? No one that I know. I said, listen, there's a lot of people that do great in Family First and great with AIL, and they're all the way up here, and you can never get there. You can't get there because why? Because it's an MLM. And we were in an MLM before. We had 4 or 5 people above us making money. Me and Rob made good money, but we were tapped, and we work our ass off. And then until we finally said, we got to go. We're worth more than this. My retirement's coming quicker than yours because I've been working 40 years. I graduated 40 years ago, high school this year, and I'm doing my graduation reunion this year for all of us. But the bottom line is we're working too hard to be paying somebody else, right? So that's when you have to look at yourself. All of you on this phone, where are you today? Where do you want to be tomorrow? And where do you want to be next year? And if you don't make a change, then we'll see you because we're going for the ride, right? We don't do anything. Look at Carl laughing. We don't do anything that anybody else can't do, can't follow. It's all faith and in your heart and being strong and knowing what you're worth, standing up for your rights, standing up for what you want. If you can't get it from your upline, you go to the next upline and you go to the next person and you get what you need. And me and Rob have been there for everyone on this team and everybody else's team from day one, and we'll still continue to help you grow, okay? Because we have an interest in you, even if you're not on our team. So what does that tell you, right? So I tell people on the phone, this is what I say. When you work for someone, you really want to like who you're working with, right? Because if somebody hires you and they don't call you and they don't answer your text or your messages, and do you want to work with someone like that? But you feel bad because these people are trying and they just can't get the connection. So me and Rob, you have 2 people. So you come on with us, you got 2 people that are going to help you. So we do have a benefit on our team because that's what I say. And you could say, Well, we have a benefit because we have me and we have our upline. And, you say what you want to say. But I say this, my husband would take the shirt off his back for you. He answers the phone at dinner. He answers the phone even when we're just hanging out. And sometimes I do tell him, don't answer that phone. Call them back later because he's a little too much and I want to be first. He makes you guys first. Now I know I'm first, but that's how much he cares about you. And that's why he got the award last year for Leadership Award, because of what he does. So the thing is, we're in this together, but I want to be separate. I don't want to be a Rob and Janet. Rob is here and I'm here, but I'm my own person and Rob's his own person and he does his thing and I do my thing. And we all do our things together. Okay. And we all grab on together, reach out and grab. If Carl's smile is infectious. And I was going to talk about that next week on my call, but he's one of them. Look at that smile. When I met him a couple of years ago at training, and I told Rob the other day, I said, I'm a happy person and I'm happy, but sometimes I look like I'm mean. My daughter said, you look like you're mad at somebody, because I have that look sometimes, right? But Carl, for some reason, I remember Rob saying to you on the trip, he's like, are you always this happy? Like, he was so happy that you were so happy. Like, you just always have that, like, happy, let's go dancing. And I'm all about dancing and stuff, but like just all the time. I think that's wonderful. So you have to feel like that in your business all the time with people you talk to in the business or your clients or the new people coming in. You have to have that energy to bring into them because they don't want the bad energy. We have people that are going to be, we're hiring soon that I'm at my first stages with, and they want what we got. You got to give them a little and let them grab it, give them a little bit at a time. You can't just overpower somebody with that. And as you can see, I can go on and on, but I think it's just very important to be positive and smile and just know where we are, know where you came from, know why you started insurance, know your whys. He's clapping. Where did it come from? The fire that's within you, everybody has within them. The spirit of you is what makes you you and what makes you be successful. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
know
some,
it's mad at me 'cause I'm
so again,
going
some great points. What retirement income life brings to the table is just so much better than what other IMOs are going to be able to compete with. You're not going to, they're not going to get the training. So you really need to understand your value. What you have is of greater value than what they have. And so that gives you the ability to be picky on who you're bringing in. And so we do a 2-person interview because what she might not pick up, I'll pick up, and vice versa. Now, Jan does a great job with the initial talking to people, and it does make my job a lot easier. Lord knows I don't want to make that initial phone call. I just don't. It's, and I feel for you guys that don't have a partner that's involved in the industry with you. If you do have a partner that's interested in what you're doing, get them involved. I talked to Joe Tisler the other day, and maybe his wife might be setting appointments for him. Well, you can even take it another step. If your spouse has ever done some hiring, have them do the initial interview. Take advantage of that extra person in the household. I think many of us have it, have that extra person. And if they happen to have the time, let them be involved. And having your spouse involved like that is only going to, enhance your relationship, and it's going to enhance your career. So if you don't, then get your upline to talk to them. Get them to be that second interview, be the person that does the Zoom presentation, which is another thing you need to learn how to do a Zoom presentation on the opportunity. Just doing a phone call is not going to work. So now Jan was right. I don't chase. I am of the big belief that you make people come to you. You don't go to them. So I'm not going to go and chase people on Facebook. I just won't do it. I won't call people 5 times getting them to listen to my opportunity. And maybe that's a weakness. I don't think so. And because that's something that Jan, she'll limited on a limited basis, she might chase somebody a little bit, but she has limits, and it's because that they have to have a desire and see the value in what you're offering. And if they don't, you chasing them is only going to push them away. So imagine if you're on the dating scene, okay, and you see somebody you really like, and you're chasing them, you're calling them all the time. They are not going to want to talk to you. They're going to run, right? But at the same time, if you play hard to get, they're going to come to you. I have a gentleman that's called me twice. He knows one of our agents. This particular agent doesn't want him on the team. And quite frankly, I personally don't trust the guy either. So I haven't really bothered with him, but he's now calling me. And I interviewed him a month or two ago, and he was, I'll think about it. And okay, no problem. I didn't bother with him. Now he's calling and chasing me. I ain't taking him. That ship has sailed, because I'm very loyal to the agent. So if she don't want him, I'm not taking him. That's just the end of it. And he's not going to be associated with this company. So the next thing, and before I go on to start to wrap up, is your job as a leader is going to be not just to motivate, but also to educate. And that's why our calls work so well. And we want new agents. Don't be afraid to get a prospective agent on our Monday call, on our Thursday call, on Gary's Zoom. The other night on Gary's Zoom, we had a couple of prospects on that call, on that Zoom call. So those Zoom calls are great, especially if they're hungry for training, and that's usually the case. So let's just move on to the next, as we're coming to the end. So Jen, you're typically jumping on the Zoom calls with me and the prospects, and rightfully so, because you've had conversations, you've built that rapport and that relationship with these people. They've gotten through the gauntlet, and now they're ready to see what we're going to do for them, how we're going to become their partner in success. So when you're jumping on that Zoom call, what are you looking for in particular? Is there anything you're looking for? Maybe reactions of the client, what they're going to say, or is there anything in particular that you're looking for in that conversation?
Wait, but in the Zoom that you're doing with them, you mean?
Yeah, when I'm doing the Zoom and you're jumping on, what in particular are you looking for, if anything? Maybe you're just listening to the conversation, but is there anything that you're looking for, any flags or anything?
No, well, first of all, in speaking to them, I don't see their face. So I like to jump on the call just to listen to Rob start, because, we have to introduce ourselves and stuff. And then I always have a lot of other work to do. So I tell them I'm leaving now and I'm going to jump back on later, but, to say goodbye. But I listen a little bit because I'm looking at their face. I want to see who they are, what they're doing. I just look at what they're doing and how they're listening for the first 10 minutes. Some of them might be taking notes. Some of them looking down, some of them might be just in left field. But most of the time, they're who I think they are, because I got a good read on them. So most people I send to Rob, we pretty much like lately. I mean, I think I'm getting better at that. So lately, we really haven't had much of that. But, we pretty much leave it in Rob's hands after that. After he talks to them, we see if they grab the bait after that and they want to come back for more. Rob is very easy about it. He just tells them, listen, if you like what you heard, you passed Janet's interview, pretty much you could sign on it if you're ready. So it's not really a Zoom for questioning them. It's a Zoom that I think I would like them, but if I see something in the phone call, something that they say, maybe they're saying, oh, I'm part-time. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. I thought you were full-time. So there might be something there. But usually I think it's pretty good. I think it's up to the person after that. And sometimes maybe it's not for them. But what I would say, I do want to say before we hang up, as far as the what Rob says about chasing, I just want to define chasing and following up are two different things. So I'm more of a good follow-up, but Rob is not. I'm better at that with him because I was taught that. Sorry, Rob. I was taught that for my lawyers and brokers. I'm still friends with one of my lawyers who hired me. He's 80 something years old. We're such good friends. And I always thank him and I always tell him, he's like, you're so good, and you're going to be so successful. You are successful. And I thank him. He was one of my mentors. And I said, well, you taught me a lot that I know. I mean, taught how to follow up with people. So when you follow up, after you're on the Zoom with them, you give them a day, they might come back to you next day and tell you, wow, how do I sign up? Some people right away, how do I sign up? They want to sign up before they even get on the Zoom. I'm like, I'm not hiring them until I could see their face. So, you just have to slow it down a little bit. But I will follow up and see what they thought. Rob, if he doesn't hear from them, he's not going to go say, well, what did you think? He's moving on. He does his part and he's moving on. He don't have time for that. So I follow up a little bit. I give them the benefit of the doubt a little bit because I'm a woman and I know people get busy and I know that maybe something happened or they were busy at work and they said they were going to do something and they didn't do it. And Rob has no patience for that. He's like, they were supposed to call and they didn't call and this isn't, because we don't have a monkey business. A lot of people think insurance is like the monkey business, but this is a serious business. It's a numbers game. You want to play the game, you got to be in it to win it, right? So we can only go so far with the following up. And after a while, we're not going to chase them. So that does happen. There's a few of them that I would have really liked, but the one in Texas, I really liked one of them, but she wasn't coming back to me and I kept following up with her and I felt like I was chasing her. I'm like, I'm not doing this. So maybe in a month from now, she'll come looking for me. When they come looking for you, it means they want what you have. So I will say this, you all have my phone number. If you find anyone that you think would be of interest and you're interested in building, or you need help building and you're ready to build and your upline thinks you're ready to take it on, I will personally help you as far as do that phone call with you, send them to your manager. If your manager's okay with me doing it, I don't want to step on toes. I'm more than happy to do it where you can listen three-way and I can ask them the questions. The only way you're going to know how to do it is if you listen a few times and you hear it, just like making an appointment, and then you'll be able to answer the questions. I wasn't as good as I am now 7 years ago, and I learned it. And what I did was the girl that I called all the time to help me in the other company, I was in her back pocket, called her all the time. She wasn't even on my team. She was awesome. And I'll still say she was awesome because we learned a lot from that company. I have no bad things to say about a lot of things because I give people credit for what they've done and they've helped me to grow, to start my journey. So I have nothing bad to say. But this person, I would be on the phone with her and listen, and she would interview and I would just listen and listen. And now when I talk to people, I actually hear her in me because I say, wow, Rob, I'm really good at this. Did you hear what I was just saying to that person? I mean, we're driving to Texas, we're driving to Florida, we're driving, and I'm on the call interviewing, and 40 minutes, I'm like, I really like this one. Isn't this good? Like, I just, the other day, turned around a lead, selling him insurance into maybe recruiting him. I'm seeing him next week because the way the conversation went was just like crazy. So he might be a good recruit. But just in talking to them, and it's about what you say and how you say it. If you have patience and you give them time and listen, you never know what can happen. So when one door closes, 7 doors open, and that's all I have to say. Good night, everyone. I hope I helped you, and we love you all.
Yeah, some great stuff from Jan. I'm going to do, well, let me ask everybody this, and I want you to unmute. And if the answer is yes, I want you to unmute and tell me who here on this call wants to start building now? Who here is interested in building their agency immediately?
I see 3
Well, I
on
know
here.
Roderick in Taiwan. You guys don't have to.
Roderick in Taiwan is 2, but Melvin, what about you, Melvin?
Um, anybody else other than those two
I
that
do.
are trying to build their agency right now?
Melvin said yes.
Melvin, you too? All right, so let me do this because I wanted to make sure that there were other people that were actively building before I show you this. I'm going to show you a big secret. I'm going to show you the email that I send out. And this email gets a ton of responses. Okay. I'm going to share it with you. And Jan knows I don't do this. And she's probably texting me right now telling me, don't do this. I'm telling you, this is a big deal. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen and show you the email. This is the email. I hope everybody can see it clearly once it comes on. There you go. Okay. This email I've been using for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. Okay. I send out hundreds of these emails every day. And these emails get you people. Now, there's more to it, of course, because how do you get the list? Where, how are you sending out 300 emails? I'm not sitting here typing in single names, right? So this email is going to individuals, but it's actually going out to 3,000 people over a period of 21 days. But they think it came from me personally. This is what somebody received. And it says that Robert Appel sent it. Right. So it looks like I'm saying congratulations on getting your life insurance license. And they think it's a personalized email. And it's not. It's and many of you that are on this call answered that email.
Well, it is a personalized email from you.
It is, but it's not. It's part of a batch of 4,900 that went out. So, but
right. It's a personal email, but it's to everyone, and they all think that
right, but they can't see that it's to everybody. They think I just sent it out to Loyal Realty Services. And so this email is part of the key. The next part is finding the list and then setting up your email through your Gmail account, creating a new email, and then sending that email out in bulk. And so on another episode, I don't know if it's going to be next week because I have Gary coming on next week to share warm recruiting techniques. But this email, we're going to do a call. It won't be a very long call, but it will be a Zoom call. And I do want to show you guys how to go about recruiting using a template like this and showing you the responses. Let me just show you some of them, okay? So let me put on. Anytime you see me and Catherine or congratulations, these are people that are responding to my emails, okay? And you can see sent 281 of 14,000 emails. I am still sending out, there's about 14,000 more that are going out over the next 2 months. So I actually have to create another email address to send out more bulk because this is only in Florida. So I have to create another email address so I can send out another 300 emails a day to other states, to other new agents in other states. So I have this system down. You're not going to find a more effective system. I don't care what anybody says. I challenge anybody to have a more efficient and effective system than this. Okay. This in the past, it sent 281 of 14,027. So congratulations. I mean, this guy here speaks only Spanish. Okay. So what did I do? I'll show you real quick what I did on this guy. So he responded and he sent me this right up here. That's all in Spanish. So what did I do with that? I took that, put it into Google Translate. I saw that he said, oh, I speak Spanish, I don't speak English. Okay, great. I scrolled down in that email, which I can't do on this one, but I basically took what he sent me, which I'm going to show you. I basically took this right here, actually from here and up. I took all this, translated it to Spanish, and then resent it to him. So what did he do? He responded again. And this time he responded saying that, see, this is what I sent him. And now he responded as, yes, I want to learn more. Now, I don't speak Spanish, so, and he lives in Florida, so I gave him to Manny. And hopefully Manny brings him on. He's a Spanish-speaking agent, and we'd love to have him, as long as he's a good quality individual. So you have to start thinking out of the box. But this system that we will teach you, it won't be tonight because there's much more to it. This system is going to get your email box flushed out with new agents contacting you. And when they do contact you, they're going to be saying things like, oh, let me just go to one from today. I'm sure I have one from today in here somewhere. I think it was this one, as a matter of fact, Catherine. Yeah. Good afternoon. I'm available for a call anytime after 1 p.m. tomorrow. And then she left her phone number. How would you like to get that in your email on a regular basis? And the whole thing, the whole system will cost you pennies a day. Your biggest investment is going to be buying the list, which could cost you 50 bucks. It could cost you 80 bucks, 100 bucks. The more it costs you, the more agents that are on that list. And then another add-on that you get for your Gmail account costs you about 8 or 9 bucks a month. And that's it. And you could send out all the emails you want. So pennies a day, and you're going to get people like this coming to your email box. And this is not something I share with everybody, but I will tell you. So this guy runs a BD platform. I don't know what that is, but he's nice enough to return.
Hi, put this on the next call. Come on.
So, but yeah, this ain't going to be on the next call, but it's going to be an upcoming call. So just keep an eye out for that. I don't know what the name of it will be. It probably will be in this series, I'm thinking, because it kind of fits the situation. So I think that's everything for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for jumping on. And if you have any questions, give me a holler. This is being recorded, and I will share this on the mylifetraining.biz website under the video library page. Probably be there in a couple days. Okay, guys, if you don't have any questions, I'm going to jump off. If you do, just shoot them now real quick, and I'll see if I can answer them quick for you. Any questions? Anybody? Just unmute, shout them out. Nada? Perfect. Guys, have a great night, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Rob.
Take care.
Thanks, Rob.
You got it.